Hello, hello, hi, how's it going? I hope everyone is having a great day today. I'm just realizing that my audio isn't set up properly. There we go. Hello, hi, how's everyone doing? So, my first tip for you straight off the bat is to make sure that you've checked that your audio setup is correct before you start the live video and not after you've already clicked go live. There's a free bonus tip for you from my own error just now. Okay, so big shout out to Liz, loving the group and loving the challenge to do more live videos and to get everyone coming on and introducing themselves and using the platform of Facebook Lives to get more interaction in the group, because live video really is so powerful. Video in general is probably the closest we can get to being in person with people, and live video allows you to really be you. People can see the real you. It's not a polished presentation, it's just you. And people like the idea that something could go wrong. And when it does, like for example me not having the audio set up properly at the beginning, it can really help to show people who you really are rather than some polished veneer. People like that because they can relate far more easily to you being you than they can to some polished idea of you. So I wanted to take Liz up on the challenge to go live and introduce myself, but I don't want to just come on here and introduce myself. I like to give value with the content that I put out, so I decided this was the perfect opportunity to share with you some tips from my personal experience and from my expertise on how to do better live videos. So I should probably explain a bit about who I am so you know where this is coming from. I am a therapist and mindset coach. I have been for 15 years now, and I've been running Mind Affinity as a full-time business for the last 4 years plus. What I do is I help people to empower themselves. I don't do it for them, I show them how to do it for themselves. I help people to identify and acknowledge and understand the power that we have as individuals, because we have so much power and we're so good at using it to trip ourselves up, hold ourselves back and get in our own way. What I do is I help people use that same power, not fight against it, not feel like they need to change who they are, but embrace that strength and actually use it positively instead of negatively and holding them back. And that's it. So, live videos then. They're great, but they can be a bit nerve-wracking, especially when you're new to it and you haven't done it before. So here are my top tips. I'll start by getting some boring stuff out of the way. Technology, okay? It doesn't matter what technology you're using. It doesn't matter if you're just doing it directly from your phone or if you've got a full studio setup. You're the focus of the video, and that's the really important thing. But if you want to make the tech work for you favorably and make things a bit better, then there are a few simple things to consider. One, sound is more important than the video itself. If you're muffled or people can't hear you properly, that will be people will turn off and switch over much more quickly than if they can't see you properly. So do make sure that you can be heard clearly. If you are using a mobile phone, the built-in microphones are not brilliant. So I would recommend either wearing earpods, which actually is surprisingly good in terms of the microphone, or headphones with a microphone on them, a lapel mic, a rifle mic if you're feeling fancy, but just something other than the built-in microphone for the phone. And you can pick them up for a couple of quid off Amazon. They make a big difference, especially if you're doing regular live videos. But again, not essential. The phone will do the job. If that's all you've got, it's better to turn up and do something and show up than it is to make excuses about technology. The next is lighting. Lighting is actually more important than the quality of the camera. So making sure that you're lit well enough that you can be seen. So if I turn this light off here, suddenly there's this natural light shining here, but it's really dark over that side. And that's actually just a desk lamp because I don't have my film lighting set up at the moment. And then make sure that there's something in the background that helps kind of give you more distance. For me, if you look, you can see I've actually got some uplight behind me that kind of helps distance me slightly from the background. It's very subtle, but it's just enough. There are other things you can do. And that's it. That's all you really need to worry about. You don't even need to worry about that. If you don't have fancy lights, do it by a window. If you don't have a fancy microphone, use your phone. It's good enough. But more importantly is how you show up. It's the mindset, it's how you feel when you're doing it. See, confidence in how you come across can be really important, especially if you're looking to promote yourself or your business. You want to appear confident in what you're talking about, because if you appear confident, we have these things called mirror neurons, right? We watch someone doing something, and if they are feeling a certain way, we'll start to mirror that and feel a similar way. It's how we've learned to empathise with other humans, and it's why it's so sad when they stop drawing the deer in that Disney film. So if you're lacking in confidence, then people watching are more likely to be lacking in confidence with what you're trying to tell them and with you. Whereas if you show up and you're being confident, people are far more likely to believe you and buy into you. And you're putting your best self across. So the top tip, the number one thing, and the thing that makes the biggest difference, do it. Just do it. All of these things that are holding you back, all of the procrastination, all of the excuses of not having the right tech, all of this stuff is just noise, it's just excuses, and it just gets in the way. As with so many things, the real thing that disturbs us is our worry about the thing, not the thing itself, right? Man is not disturbed by things, but the view which he takes of them. So the worry about the live video and what people might say or how it might come across or the things that might go wrong is far worse than actually doing the video itself. So just do it, and it will become much easier to do it again the next time when you realise you didn't die the first time round. You may not be everyone's cup of tea. Things may go wrong. But the right people, the kind of people that you're really going to want to connect with, surely they're the kind of people that are going to be supportive and understanding. They're the people that are going to cheer you on. They're the people that are going to go, oh, he didn't have his mic set up at the beginning, but he carried on and fair play. Rather than, oh, what an idiot, he doesn't know how to set up his own equipment. Yeah? Marketing, which, let's face it, a lot of the live videos you're likely to be doing will be a part of marketing and building relationships. It's about being a magnet. It's about repelling the people you don't want as much as it is attracting the ones you do. You can't please everyone, but by trying to not upset anyone, you can't really be yourself properly either. So don't worry about the people that are going to switch off, because they're not going to still be watching. And those people that are still watching, they're going to be the people that are worth connecting with. Everybody feels that way. At some point, everyone feels nervous about doing something new. It's normal, and especially it's normal for live videos, because although it's just a camera, it still feels like we're standing up in front of a tribe of people, and that puts us at risk. Evolutionarily, we don't want to do that. We don't want to make a spectacle of ourselves, because then if people don't like us, they might throw their poo at us. Never seen Liz throw her poo at anyone or anyone else in this group, so I think you'll be all right. So it's okay to feel nervous, and actually trying to fight against feeling nervous, trying to beat that down, trying to battle against it, just makes it come up far worse. Because that part of your brain feels like it's at risk, it's under attack, there's a problem, and it's saying, hey, pay attention, there's danger here, you need to look out. And so then you respond by arguing back, and it just feels like it's under attack even more, and like there's even more danger. And so it amplifies that feeling, and you create even more anxiety and worry and nerves. But when you just accept that, do you know what? It's okay to feel nervous. Suddenly it's not such a bad thing. Which brings me neatly onto my next point, that nerves are actually a good thing. It's good to feel nervous. It's not a problem if you don't, that's okay too. But if you are feeling a bit nervous about it, that's a good thing, because what that does is it gives you focus and it gives you energy. When you feel nervous about something, what happens? Well, you get a surge of adrenaline, you get cortisol, you get these chemicals that make you feel alert and on the ball. So if something goes wrong, you're better capable of dealing with it in that moment. Not that anything's really going to go wrong, other than the internet connection maybe. So having that nervousness allows you to have greater focus. It allows you to have more energy, which you can bring to the camera. When you're doing something on camera, there's more distance. It's harder than when you're in person to really engage with people. So sometimes being a little bit exaggerated, putting more energy in, can really grab people's attention much more. So actually that nervousness can be a really positive source of energy if you use it well. So nerves can be really good. My next point, plan, but not too much. Now, how much is the right amount to plan for a live video? Well, that's entirely up to you. For me, it's literally jot down some bullet points that I want to talk about because I know this content and I know what I'm talking about, and I've spoken about this before, albeit a while ago, since I've done a live video on how to do live videos. But a few key bullet points will just help to keep me on track so I know what I'm going to talk about. I don't even need to actually have them written down in front of me. I don't need to have them here to refer to. Just having sat down and decided beforehand what I want to talk about can make a huge difference and make it much easier. Because you see it all the time, don't you? People jump on, I'm just jumping on to do a live and I don't really know what I'm going to talk about, and then they end up waffling. And for me, my biggest thing that I really, when I'm delivering a good live video, the thing that I'm aware that I need to plan is how to end the video. It's very easy for me to talk on the various different points that I want to talk about. And if I've got a set time, I'll kind of have in my head 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, right? Okay, those are the points that I'll talk about. I know that I need to plan the summary. I need to plan the end. Otherwise, I can just keep on talking. And that's really not the best way to do a live video. So plan what you're going to say. But don't plan too much, because there's nothing worse than tuning in to watch a live video of someone just reading their notes and the sound of the paper and people just not looking at the camera. If you're going to do that, just publish a blog. But doing a live video, it's all about the interaction. It's about showing up. It's about engaging with the audience. And you can't do that so easily if you're just reading from a script. So by all means, if it works well for you and you want to have a specific script, write a script. Great, fantastic. But once you've written that script, condense it down into the key points, the bullet points, the headings, and use that to refer back to. But don't feel like you need to read word from word off a script. That's not how you deliver a live video. It can work for pre-recorded videos, sure, because that's more polished and neat, and if you go wrong, you can stop and you can start and you can edit. But for a live video, if you over-plan, it can often just create more pressure because, you've got to make sure you get it right and don't make a mistake. Whereas if you've just got a loose idea that you want to follow and you know your content, like if you're introducing yourself to this group, the content is you. You must know that better than anyone, right? So you don't need to plan in great detail. That can actually detract from it. The next one, and this is the most important point, and this is true for live videos, it's also true if you're speaking in person as well, and that is slow down. If you're nervous, what we tend to do is we kind of want to get it out of the way quickly, so we end up talking really, really fast because we just want to say everything and then we can run away and then it's done. The problem is that doesn't make great watching, and it actually makes you feel even more nervous and worked up as you do it. So, slow down. One of the great things here is that if you pause for a moment, it actually makes people want to see what's coming next. If you were at school, this is a great example. I'm sure plenty of people watching this at school would have gone through moments where they weren't really paying much attention. And suddenly the teacher stops talking. That's when you look up because you want to see if you're in trouble. We're kind of programmed when suddenly, if someone's talking and then they stop, oh, what's that? It grabs our attention again. So pausing is actually a really useful tool when you're delivering a live video. Using those spaces can really grab your audience more than if you just keep talking. And in those spaces, in those moments, you're creating space for yourself to slow down and to pause. So breathe and drink. It gives you time to think. By pausing to take a breath, because breathing feels good and is calming and is relaxing and is so important. By pausing to take a breath. No one's going to question why you've been quiet for a second while you're taking a breath. But you know how sometimes a moment can feel like a lifetime? Great! Use that to your advantage. Use that lifetime to recenter yourself and to think about what you were going to say next, rather than being busy panicking about feeling nervous, for example. And if you need a little bit longer, well, that's easy too. Always have a drink on hand, particularly if it's a longer talk or a longer video. Your throat can get quite dry when you're talking a lot. Having a drink allows you to refresh your mouth and your throat, but also it gives you even more time. If you get a bit lost, if you're not sure what's coming next or what you were going to say, stop and take a swig of water. Your audience won't be thinking, oh, he needs time to think about what he's saying next, because you're clearly just taking a drink of water. There's no reason to question it. Your glass doesn't have to be as ridiculously oversized as mine is, by the way. It's just a very hot day here and I drink a lot of water. So breathe and drink, it gives you time to think. Another element which I won't go into too much on this video because I don't want to take up all of your time, but it's a really important point, and if you want to discuss it more, please do get in touch, is that we are actually all confident people. You, watching this right now, were born confident. It's not something you need to learn. It's not something that's out there. It's not something for me to teach you. Confidence is something you already have inside in abundance. It's just that you've layered stuff on top of it. You've learned not to be. You've learned to be scared and to be worried. You've learned to let nervousness be a problem rather than just part of the experience. All of that stuff is additional stuff. Actually, there's no magic key to being confident or becoming confident because you already are when you allow yourself to be. Which brings me neatly onto my final point. Do it. It was my first point and it's my last point. Just do it. Grab your phone, hit that button, go live. If you don't know what to talk about, simply just say, hi, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is the first time doing a live video, I'm going to end it there. Doesn't need to be anything more than that. You'll probably feel exhilarated afterwards if you're that nervous about it now, but it will be so much easier to do it again next time. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you become doing it and the more confident you feel doing it. That's it. So, recap. Do it. Everyone feels that way. It's okay. It's all right to feel that way. It's only a problem if you let it be. Nerves are a good thing. They can give you some real focus and energy. Have a plan. Have an idea of what you want to say, but don't over-plan it and try reading from a script. Remember to slow down, pace yourself and take your time. Breathe and drink. It gives you time to think. You already have all the confidence you need inside. Go do it. I've been Duncan Price from Mind Affinity. If you found this useful or you want to find out more, by all means get in touch, either in the comments, drop me a message, or head to mindaffinity.co.uk. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.